Ready to rock and roll? Right guys, I'm here with Darren. Darren's built this 4080. There's a fair bit going on here, so you want to listen up. Tell us what the main gist is going on here.
Well, what I originally did is I originally had another vehicle and I had a lot of trouble with it, so I decided to build something for myself, so I sold it. And I seen the 4080 build, so I decided that was the way I was going to go. So I got this cab. It was originally an old bull catcher's cab, and I had to replace a lot of the panels and so forth in it, floors and sills and stuff like that. So there was a lot of work, panel work wise. Once I did that, I obtained an 80 series chassis. It was a 10th month 91 80 series chassis. I fully stripped that chassis. Built the 45 series cab onto it, put all the tray mounts, engine, gearbox. It's got air conditioning, cruise control, power steering.
Darren's done all of this himself in his shed at home. And do you have a trade qualification?
Yeah, I'm a motor mechanic by trade, but I've worked in the mines for years as a fitter and as a supervisor and so forth like that. So.
And what kits did you end up using, if any?
I used Billy McKinnon's kit, very good kit. Very happy with the fit on it and that. I had no dramas with it all, and Billy was very good with support as far as any questions I had as I went through that sort of thing. So
yeah, nice one.
So ended up opting to put the 1HDT engine in it, the genuine 80 series engine.
Did you buy the engine itself, did you?
I bought the engine. It had a Kraken number 6 piston, and the cylinder head had a crack in it. So I fully rebuilt the engine. New turbo, fuel pump, injectors, everything that had to be replaced got replaced on it.
Nice.
Gearbox and transfer case has been rebuilt. Front and rear diff locks in it. It's got front and rear winches.
Still run the 411 ratios?
Yeah, 411, but in the future I'm looking at putting the late model VDJ 5-speed in it to just get a little bit more overdrive on the highway.
Gotcha.
Just bring engine revs down a little bit. But I've done about not quite 12,000 in it in the last 2.5 months since it's been registered. It's only been registered for 2.5 months.
Yeah, cool.
So haven't had any major problems with it, so it's been going well.
Let's get a closer look at this engine. Righto, so where you started off, you had the engine all mounted up, and then where'd you sort of work on from there? What was the sort of steps?
So I guess probably take a step back. Before you can mount the engine, you've actually got to position the cab on the chassis. So that's about getting the centre line of the front axle in the centre line of the front guards. Once that's done, then you can mount the chassis and gearbox in, and then you can do measurements for tail shafts and so forth. The back one has to be shortened and the front one has to be lengthened a bit.
So this is a very busy engine base. So you've got aircon, you've got the power steering, you've got 80 series booster.
Yeah, 80 series booster, master cylinder,
all new.
catch can, cruise control over there on the firewall, dual fuel filters on it, just near your right hand there.
And we'll get to the bonnet scoop later when we get to the outside shot, but just under here, tell me about this intercooler.
Cross-country intercooler, so it's actually just a top-mount intercooler. As you probably know, there's not a lot of room in the front of these, and I didn't want to have to cut and shut anything there, so that's why I opted to go with a top-mount intercooler. It has got a fan on it, so in slow speed applications it's actually still getting airflow through it. And it's got a 79 series bonnet scoop that's been modified to suit the 40 series bonnet.
Yeah, cool.
Which feeds air into it.
Yeah, nice one.
Pump and injectors, JH Hilux did those in Townsville with them. Very happy with the job that they did on them. It does exactly what they asked.
Hasn't been dyno tuned?
Hasn't been dyno tuned. It was about it was between a 180, 200 horsepower tune that they put into the pump and injectors.
It's got no dramas getting up to speed?
No, it goes along quite well.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, to the speed limit.
Yeah. So we just spent a few weeks on the road with Darren on the long drive for drought, and yeah, this car is definitely the showcase, I think. Yeah, the way it handled on the road, and just all day the boys got their windows up, just living life, and we're all sweating it out like a bunch of dogs. So it was actually quite sad to see from being in the old cattle class, but it was good to see the boys having a win. We might have a bit of a look on the inside of this.
Yeah, sure. Sweet. Yeah.
On the inside of Darren's 4080 here, the biggest thing that stands out when you hop in to me is the steering column. So what have you got going on there?
So I've got a 60 series steering column that's been modified and fitted in here. The reason for that was I wanted to put a decent stereo with a map system and so forth in it, and all the normal controls for wipers, hazard lights, heater and all that type of stuff is normally in the centre. So by putting the 60 series column in it, I was able to put all the controls up on the steering column itself, and it tidied the dash up by doing it, and allowed me to put the stereo in it.
Definitely a tidy dash for sure. And which aircon unit are you running now?
That's a vintage air one from Retro Spares in Victoria.
Yeah.
They come out of the States. Very good unit, very happy with it.
Yeah.
So it does air conditioning, it does heater, and also demister function too. So it meets roadworthy requirements.
So to help this aircon, how have you gone about insulating the cab, if anything?
So under all the floor, under the floor mats and under the seats, it has some sound deadening type stuff in there from
Car Builders?
Car Builders,
Yep.
I think is the
Yep.
brand. So I've put all that into there. It goes right up onto the firewall. In behind the cab's been done, right up to the back windscreen.
Yeah.
And then in underneath the transmission tunnel, it's actually got insulation in underneath that too, because I wanted to keep the painted look inside. I didn't want to have insulation look there.
Yeah. So nothing about this floor looks factory. So what's going on with the floor?
So because it's got the turbo 80 series box in it, which is a H151, it's a much deeper box than the original box that come out of these. So I went about fabricating a whole new tunnel, but I put some thought into it when I did it, so if I've got to do a clutch change or pull the gearbox out, I've got good access into that. So essentially the whole gearbox tunnel unbolts and you end up with a flat floor
Yeah,
again.
you could swing a cat around down there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Right. Overhead console, did you knock that up yourself?
No, that's an Australian Consoles one. I got. Reason I put that in there, a few reasons. Gave me somewhere to put my speakers. I didn't want the speakers down low. So speakers, it comes with a very good interior light in them. And it also, a bit of storage up there, but I've got all my winch controls, so I can operate my winch, front or rear winch, from in here. So it's got an isolator switch and an activation switch.
Yeah, you're living life in 2030 in here, I'll tell you that. Yeah, right. Centre console, fridge.
Yeah, just a brass monkey one.
Yeah.
They fit well. I see they're fairly common in the 40 series.
nearly most cars we've done today have definitely got them. So
And they work well too.
that's a testament to them. For
They
sure.
work well, so I'm pretty happy with that. That was,
Yeah,
that was
nice.
good.
Can't help but,
One thing I had to do when I put the fridge in it, I had to reduce the seating capacity to 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you found that being an inconvenience yet, or not really?
No, not really.
Yeah, nice one.
And this, because as we spoke about before, I sold my other vehicle that I had. This is my daily. This is what I use as a daily vehicle.
So you painted this car, and which colour code is it?
This is 4E9.
Yeah, right.
4E9, so sandy taupe.
Right, so it's not a period correct beige necessarily, but to the untrained eye.
Yeah, to the untrained eye, some people tell me at the paint shop that the 4E9 for the sandy taupe is the same colour code as the early beige, not the June beige, but the beige.
Right.
But I've been told by other people it's not. But the paint shop I bought this off said it was the same code.
Beige is not beige anymore, all right?
Yeah.
There's different beiges.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you going on with the door cards here?
Just one that we'd got from a company down south, which I can't remember the name of them at the moment. But they're a replacement door card. They come with all the clips and everything.
Yeah, perfect.
And they're durable.
Nice.
So weather won't affect them and so forth.
Yeah.
When you buy them, you've got the option to buy also the plastic liner in behind, so it keeps all the dust and everything from coming into the cab, and that's it's had all that stuff put in it and that too. And it actually has got a bit of sound deadening in the doors too.
Yeah, cool. From start to like finish, pretty much, how long would you say this build took you?
I bought the car home. I bought the cab home on the 7th of January 2023, and I registered this car on the 31st of July this year, so about 19 months.
Yeah, right. And anyone who's built a car anywhere near this extent would understand that's pretty good going, considering you're not even full-time doing it. This is all on the side, isn't it? Because you're still working full-time.
I do. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's quite a testament, really. Anything else worth talking about on the inside?
Not really. We've got an amp up here which runs all the stereo and so forth. It has got the Dakota dash in it.
It does too.
Yeah,
right.
So Dakota dash, the reason I went that way is I wanted a dash with a tacho in it, so I could see what the engine was doing.
Yeah,
but also when I did that, the Dakota dash has 2 LCD screens in it.
Yeah.
And I've put the extra modules in it that I can look at boost pressure and pyro temperature as I'm driving along too. So So functionality was good. I picked up the tacho, saved me drilling holes in the dash to put aftermarket gauges in. It looks nice in there.
Yeah, no, your name's Billy, not Silly, isn't it? You know what I mean?
That's right.
Perfect.
And then everything is driven through a Terraloom switch block, which is electronically fused and relayed block.
That keeps it real stout there, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I've even put the trailer controller and turbo timer into the dash there too, sort of thing. So yeah, it looks clean. The dash.
You've really got everything covered in here, don't you?
Maybe if you'd want to get a photo of the gears shifting.
Yeah, I've seen it's definitely not a standard,
it's not a standard
shift
one. But if you read the text there,
we'll definitely get a shot of that. So where can people buy that if they wanted to buy one?
That was online. I think it was maybe on a Facebook site. I can't remember the name of them.
Whoever made them, good on you, doing your part for the community. How'd you go about like sourcing parts as far as seals and all that sort of stuff?
A lot of research. A lot of the driveline seals and stuff like that I bought for the drivelines, they come from Online Auto Parts. Very happy with the service there. I live in Mackay, so they're in Brisbane obviously, but they're very good with their service. I bought the rubber kit for the cabin through a company in Victoria. It is a non-genuine one. Yes, there are some downfalls with them, but it is what it is. It was a fair bit cheaper than buying genuine stuff for it.
Yeah, cool. I reckon we can go have a look at the tray on this car now, eh?
Yeah, we can do that.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
How much fuel capacity are you carrying in this car?
180 litres. It's actually a 200 series tank. It's had the mounts modified to fit into this. So yeah, it's got a much larger fuel capacity than the standard. Original tank used to sit in underneath the seats, and that was another thing that Billy supplied me the seat frames with the draw system in it.
Understood.
Inside.
And how'd you go about this tray? Did you make this tray?
No, I didn't make the tray. I have actually got an aluminium tray at home I was going to put onto it, but this one come up and it is a 79 series dual cab tray.
Yeah, righto.
So the length was good. I wanted a flush fit across the back end, which gave me a little bit of room between the cab, which enabled me to put the water tank and also the dual battery system in there.
Yeah. So the rear winch doesn't look like it's being used. You got any plans on doing some hard wheeling where you might need it?
Yeah, I'm not real keen on putting it through water because I've got a fair few electronics in the cab, but yeah, some hard wheeling, happy to do that.
Where's on the hit list? Where are you thinking?
Next year coming up, I'd like to do the Simpson Desert for a start. If the Simpson doesn't come off, it'll be the Cape.
Yeah, awesome. Both good choices.
Yeah.
I reckon that we could probably go and talk about your Bullbar a bit more now, I reckon.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's worth looking at. Back here in the front end of Darren's 4080. So this Bullbar, run me through what's going on here.
Essentially, it was a Bullbar that come on the 80 series. It was an X-Rocks type bar. This loop used to be a lot higher on it. I didn't like the look of it, so I actually cut the loop down. X-Rocks bars don't normally have the mesh in them on either side and in the centre, so I've put that in there and put a winch in behind it. Sort of thing.
Nice one. What size winch is it?
12,000 pound.
Yeah, cool.
It's a King's winch, but it does the trick for what we need.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm just noticing just behind your Bullbar, is these cooler lines for your power steering, is it?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, nice
so that'll come from the pump on that side of the motor, down through here is cooler lines, and then back through to the box.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Overall, if you went back in time, would you do anything differently doing this build?
I like the idea of a little bit bigger cab. There's a trade-off with that, you lose the look of the vehicle then. And I'd prefer the look of the vehicle over the room.
Yeah. The reason I'm asking these questions for people watching, you might be in the process of thinking of doing a build. And I think it's just good to hear that, because like everyone will tell you something different and you can make up your own mind. But even if just asking that question can save you even at, any time, so it's worth doing, I reckon. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What do you reckon your biggest learning curve, if there was one, on doing the car? What do you find about the whole industry in general?
It's a great industry. There's some great people, and through building this car I've met a lot of good people too. People that have a similar interest, people that will impart their knowledge, and then you feel inclined to whatever you've learnt, you'll pass it on to other people too that are trying to build a vehicle themselves at home. It's
100%, yeah.
It can be a challenge doing it at home.
Yeah, anyone out there looking to do a build, you just meet people like Darren and it just keeps going. There's a whole paddock of them, so yeah, it always works out good. Thanks heaps, Darren, mate.
No worries at all.
Cheers.
Not a problem.